You, George. A little bit tricky from the outside, at least for us, to get a read on your team's pace, especially over one lap. What kind of perspective can you give us?
I mean, it was quite a strange day out there, I think, for everybody. You know, Budapest is an amazing track to drive, but they've resurfaced half of the track. Super bumpy, a lot of it's breaking up around the last couple of corners, which is making it quite strange to drive on. Our single lap didn't look great, the long run looked more competitive, but yeah, what we, I guess, essentially feared with Ferrari seemed to be the case. You know, they look very, very strong.
Yeah. In terms of deployment, obviously it isn't a track where you have necessarily big concerns, but in terms of the team finding the solution for the issue you had, was there no evidence that to counter that?
I've got to be honest. Okay? I actually didn't really look at it because I just trusted in the team that everything has been resolved, and we knew anyway coming into this weekend, even if we had the exact same issue as last week, the difference would have probably been 10% of what we saw last week, just because of the nature of the circuit. So this weekend's a totally different beast. You know, it's these power units are pretty impressive on this short track, having sort of 350 kilowatts out of all of the corners, and the rear tyres are getting blasted around the lap. So as I said, we've got work to do as a team. Ferrari are a good step ahead of everyone right now.
Yeah, right now, but overnight, are you hopeful you can be in that fight for a pole?
Yeah, I mean, I think for both Kimi and I, the car was far from great, to be honest, and we think there is room to improve. It was really windy today, and I think the wind is going to be shifting, so that could be changing a lot.
Thank you. Well, Oscar, obviously you missed the first session. How did you assess things in practice too?
Very, very challenging for sure. I think the track conditions are pretty challenging out there, very windy. The new parts of the track are not very grippy, and they're kind of not breaking apart, but they're very worn. So it's just a very challenging circuit at the moment. And yeah, obviously missing a practice session's made it pretty tough.
Yeah, in terms of getting to grips with the new parts, only having the one session, how on top of those, how best can you exploit those, or look at them overnight to best exploit them?
I didn't have them today, so I think on Lando's car they've been working as we expected, which is good. I don't think they've completely changed the car, which obviously we weren't expecting, but would have been nice. But we'll see what it's like on my car tomorrow, and hopefully we can have a successful day.
Yeah, just in terms of the spread of times, more than we normally see here at Hungary, what's your best hope in terms of where you could be fighting in qualifying?
I don't know yet. I think the Ferraris have looked very quick in both sessions, but I think Lando looked competitive in that one especially, and I think the Mercedes is very hard to read. So let's wait and see tomorrow. But I think if we execute a good day, then it seems like they can be a lot up for grabs.
Thank you.
You finally got your hands on the upgraded Aston Martin. You got a decent run, I thought, at least this morning. How did the afternoon go as well?
Yeah, it was as expected. I think it was tricky with the red flags and some of the traffic to maximize the laps, so maybe there is a little bit more to come from our side, but maybe it's the same for everybody. So let's see tomorrow. Concentrated on testing the new parts and try to understand the setup direction, which maybe can be very different than what we used to run in the last few events. So I think there is more potential to unlock hopefully tonight and into tomorrow's quali.
I know you're super experienced, and you must get a feel for a car in the first few laps on like whether or not it feels better. Does this one feel better? Sure.
It was much better. The car feel more glued to the ground, and easier to drive to an extent. When you are in control of the grip in the corners. So more predictable and easier car. But still a long way to go for us. Obviously, this is only the first step. We need to find more performance, both on the chassis, but also on the engine now. Zambor will be a good test for us with a new engine. So, step by step, but definitely in the right direction.
I think your best lap got deleted for track limits. You had been closer 2.5 seconds off the pace. That is a big step for you guys. In terms of once you get this package working, you add all those extra bits you said, it does look good. One day I know, but it does look good, doesn't it?
It looks better for sure, and it's more or less what we expected, which is the most encouraging thing is that what we thought the new package will do to the car actually translate into into reality on track, and that kind of correlation is what we need also for next year's project. So I think there is a positive atmosphere in the team now.
But it's been a good day from the timesheets. I know it's only Friday, but you must be pretty pleased with how things have gone for both Lewis and Charles.
Yeah, so far so good, but as you said before, it's not on Friday that you are doing the pole, and even less that you win the race. It's good to start like this the weekend, and so, but let's see tomorrow, it will be another story. I think Norris didn't finish the laps, that we will see tomorrow.
What was the early feedback from the drivers? Because they looked like they were on the pace in both sessions very early on.
It was a bit more messy today, like in the afternoon, the FP2 with traffic, red flag and so. But so far the balance is okay. That means that we will see probably a bit more tomorrow morning with car a bit more splitted on track, and it will probably be a bit easier to do a proper lap, but let's see tomorrow.
The field spread was pretty big out around here. I was quite surprised by the gaps between the teams. Were you surprised by that?
Yeah, because it's difficult to keep the tires alive all the lap. It means that if you start to lose, you lose a lot, but this everybody will improve until tomorrow afternoon, and it's always like this in Budapest.
And I know the sessions were a bit disrupted, so did that make gathering long run data a little bit tricky today? I know the races. I know that the sessions were quite disrupted with the red flags. Did that make getting long run data difficult?
With the red flag on the second part, that we are not able to do a proper long stint, and it was in traffic. We have to slow down, and so it means that we didn't have a good read of the tires for the race. But I think it's the same for everybody, and let's see.